Hey everyone, this is Dan Bell, and welcome to the Cutting Room Floor. This is episode number 24, and on this episode we'll be covering the second in the trilogy of the Mothman's Lair trilogy. I am joined by my co-producer, Will Krapinski. You can find him on Twitter at ZombieTrill. You can also find him on YouTube.
Yes.
Will Krapinski. I'll just put the links in the thing below. Here's the shot I love. Isn't that beautiful?
I love it. The one thing that I love is...
It makes me want to smoke cigarettes.
I love how you use that kind of like as a center for the trilogy.
Well, it's really the symbol of that region of West Virginia and Ohio. The power plant, the cooling towers, and at night, man, are they creepy.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the second. You saw the first video. By the way, if you want to see this video without our commentary, you can click. Well, just go find it.
It's somewhere on the channel.
I'm sick of clicking everything.
Easy.
Just go find it. Mothman's Lair. Anyway, so we found this old farmhouse during the day, and we had went to the TNT area. We had already shot the bunkers at this point.
Yeah.
We went down the road to shoot the remains of the old TNT factory. And then there was a car there with these two girls in it doing crank.
Yeah. Snorting something.
Like, totally on another planet. Like, these two girls were messed up.
Girls rubbing her eyes, like, for at least 20 seconds.
Yeah, it was like she was, like, scratching, like, mites out of her face. Like, she was totally crazy. And I found out that that TNT area is notorious for people who are doing meth and having sex. They all go back into the TNT area, which, what a romantic
yes.
night that would be.
You want to go back?
Can you imagine? I've never done meth before, and I don't think I'm going to start at this point, but...
You might. I heard it's fun.
Doesn't it make you insane? Like, can you imagine... Oh, I love this smoke here. See in the center,
yeah.
Doesn't it look like there's a figure there? Look at that.
Oh, it does.
It looks like a looming figure coming up through the smoke.
What about meth? What were you saying?
Well, I mean, I've heard it's fun. I would never try that.
No.
That's way too hardcore for me.
Seeing what happens to people on meth?
Yeah,
no.
I just can't. I like my teeth and like, I can't do it. But I cannot imagine the creepiness of the TNT area and being on meth. Like, what would that be like?
I feel like you would be super paranoid.
I mean, paranoid isn't the word for it. I would be absolutely terrified.
Out.
The girl, I don't know if I told this in the first Cutting Room Floor about this, but remember when the girl... the girl got out of her truck and she was real cracked out.
Yeah.
And it was sad. I mean, it really was, because those two girls were completely, like, deep in addiction. Mm-hmm. Like, it was sad. Because they weren't the one girl was young. She was pretty girl, but... Like, you could tell it was only a couple of years before she looked like she, they go from 19, 20 years old to like 40.
Yeah, and what did you say?
That shit.
Dan said like the one girl was like that. You could tell she was new because she was still pretty.
Yeah, she was. She was
other girl
was a pretty girl. I'm like, what the hell is she doing out here? So the other girl, she came out of the truck and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm like, oh, we're filming like a documentary about Mothman. I'm like, we're just going to go back and look at the bunkers. And she's like, oh my God, you guys are going to have so much fun. And I'm like, it's 1:30 in the morning in the middle of nowhere. And she's talking about dynamite and how some of the bunkers you can go in and there's still dynamite inside. And
they're asking us for coins. It's really weird.
I was just like, what bunker will you not be at? That's the one we'll go to. I'm like, you are really freaking me out. She was freaking me out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
a great start to getting out.
Yeah, I was nervous already, and I'm like, I'm not leaving the car with these two. So we left, and then we ended up, I said, let's go shoot the farmhouse. and we went and shot this farmhouse. And I didn't think we were going to actually go in here. I was really surprised that there is not one bit of graffiti in this farmhouse, considering how much graffiti is in the bunkers.
That's very true.
Because you would think that the kids who go out there and do graffiti would come to this house and tag the house up too, but there wasn't any. There was no graffiti in this house.
Do you think maybe it's just because it's so far off of the road and it's just like, why would I even go out there?
I have no idea, but it was some of the best visuals I've ever seen with the factory or the plant. Why do I always do that? I always call it a factory. It's not a factory, it's a plant. Behind it, out the window, I would love to have my office in that room, just to be able to edit and look out the window and see that those fucking cooling towers. I would be so happy. You have no idea. It would be so inspirational to be able to see that every day. See right there, that window. I'd put my desk right there and just edit.
Have a nice fire
my
going.
Work. I mean, look at that. There's the plant, and then you look over here, and here's Will in the bedroom. I don't know how long this house has been abandoned. Looks like it's been abandoned for a while.
A good bit.
Didn't have any bathrooms, which is probably why it's abandoned. Because you have to. They had the outhouse.
Oh yeah.
And that was like a fancy outhouse with the
that
actual.
Was a fancy outhouse.
Yeah, it actually had a. You know, when I was growing up, my parents had a place. They still do in West Virginia. It's a very rural area where the place is. It's like a getaway place. And when they were first building it, they built an outhouse. Because that was the only option you had. Is either that or go like shit in the river.
Sounds fun.
So, you know, this one's nice because they actually poured concrete for it. But the one we had was dirt. I mean, they just built... It's like... It was like a... just like a little shed with a... like a seating thing that was made out of wood, and you would sit on that and go to the bathroom, and it'd go down in a ditch,
and it would stay there.
Yeah, and then you cover it up with dirt, and then when it gets up to the top, then you move your you dig another ditch and move your little outhouse. But I don't know a lot of people have used outhouses. I remember I remember having to use the outhouse. I've always done this. I remember being completely freaked out. But there was this story, because I was really into these old creature stories and stuff back in the day. When I was a kid, I always read those books by Daniel Cohen. If you look him up, he wrote like books about Bigfoot and stuff like that. I love that kind of stuff. And not that I don't believe in it. It's
just fun.
Love the fun, side of it. So, this story broke in this little town. I'm not going to say the name of the town where my parents' place is, but a story broke there back in the 80s. And it said that a man saw a Bigfoot. Him and his son were hunting up on a mountain near where my parents' place was, and they saw a Bigfoot. And the guy retrieved hairs from a fence, one of those barbed wire fences. Said the Bigfoot jumped over it and left some hairs on it, and he was selling the hairs for $10,000 a piece. And oh my god,
what the hell?
It's the cat going to the bathroom. She's scratching.
Right now, there's just a door opening and closing, and I don't even see anybody doing anything.
Single time I get in here to record something, she does this. She hasn't done this in weeks, and now she's going to make a bunch of noise, and because she knows, I'm recording. Oh, there she comes. All right. Anyway, back to my story. So I remember going out to that outhouse at 4 o'clock in the morning. Or 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom, and you would be absolutely terrified to go out there. You would be like, oh, the Bigfoot's coming. I mean, it was so scary. But when I came out to Point Pleasant, it was kind of like Were you aware of all this stuff before we went?
I knew about the Mothman due to the movie.
Right.
But that was about it. Like, I didn't know anything about the Men in Black being kind of originated there as well. And
I don't think they originated in Point Pleasant.
Yeah,
I think
that was kind of what started that whole Men in Black kind of thing. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
And there's some really creepy Men in Black stories out of Point Pleasant.
And in the Mothman Museum, they had the picture of one of them, which I thought was
picture was so creepy.
Crazy.
There was a lady named Mary Heyer who was a reporter in town during the whole Mothman flap. And she would report on flying saucers, and people would see lights in the sky and all this other stuff. So she told a story to John Keel, the author who wrote Mothman Prophecies, about the weird little man wearing a black suit who came in to see her, and he looked at a pen on her desk and looked at it like he'd never seen it before, like he didn't know what a pen was. And this is a bizarre story. And if you look it up online, I mean, it literally gives you chills, but after reading all this stuff and knowing about all this stuff, going out here at night was probably like the most severe, like, I mean, it was crazy.
It was creepy as hell.
And this part, hearing those fucking trucks or whatever the hell we were hearing out in the woods. It's like deep out in the woods, we're hearing like a truck or something flying through the woods with no lights on, and we're just completely baffled, and then it just stopped. So I said, well, we'll just keep filming.
Let's keep going. Whatever that was.
I'm like, we're here. We came back. So at this point, it's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We came back to shoot this last part, and we were not excited about this at all.
I think we contemplated doing it the other night and night after this, right? We were like,
I knew if we didn't do it, we wouldn't.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I'm coming back out here again. I just wanted this over
one night
with.
And just be done with it.
The weirdest thing about this part was going into this area. And if you visit Point Pleasant, these areas are very easy to find if you want to go check them out. But the remains of that, where the factory was, there was not one sound the entire time we were there filming. I mean, there was not one sound.
Nope.
Like, there was no animal sounds. There was nothing. It was just so quiet. I mean, you could literally like drop a pin and you'd be able to hear it. But just I think this was creepier than when we went to the bunkers.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And there was that heightened sense of like, I'm waiting to hear a car on the main road and like a window breaking.
So, I thought somebody would see our car and be like, okay, what the hell?
Yeah, I was worried. Like,
that's what I was thinking.
Because the weird thing also is that this field that you had to cross to get to the structures, the grass was really, really high, and there was like ruts, like from trucks or something riding through there. Yeah. So you couldn't run, or you had to maneuver it very carefully, and it took forever just to walk like across the field. It was so weird,
and it was like icy too. There was a little bit of ice.
It just felt like you were never going to get to where you wanted to go. But once you got to the building, I was just like, man, this sucks.
It does.
Like, I want out of here.
We're just so far back. It's so different from the bunkers where there was the trail. We're just in the middle of everything.
Yeah, I mean, at least the bunkers had a trail, and we were able to... I love this shot with the... So great. Oh, that's so cool. I love the way that looks. Anyway, this is... we had to walk across this field here. It doesn't look like much, but when you get walking, it is like horrible.
When you want to leave, it's a long walk.
And it was like, once we got it, I was like, the urgency, I was like, I want to go. I want to get out of here. So like, it was like totally like, I can't explain it. I just wanted to get the hell out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, get in, get out. Let's get this over with.
Yeah.
This isn't really fun at all.
But, so these were probably munition storage as well. Somebody said because of the walls are so thick and there was they probably had metal inside of these walls. Because there's concrete. These were thick. That's probably why they didn't implode them or tear them down, because they couldn't. Because you probably would have needed like a nuclear bomb to blow this building apart. But we
these I just didn't like with this and the bunkers, the sound just really got to me. Just how it sounds in there, it just adds to everything.
The sound is awful. I mean, it truly is like completely.
Every small little step you take, it's just echoing.
It echoes
off
down the
wall.
whole thing. And that was another weird thing about this. There's no graffiti.
Yeah,
Where's the graffiti here? Like, why is the graffiti only over at the... That's graffiti.
That's kind of graffiti.
No.
It's hieroglyphic.
That is graffiti from the 50s.
Oh, yeah?
That's what it is. It's from the 50s. So it's, it's from back in the day. There was a date there. It said like 57 or 59 or something.
Uh-huh.
So that's just somebody went in there with chalk back in the day.
And it's still there.
There's no graffiti in this.
God.
Nobody was spray painting anything. You would think that this entire thing would be filled with graffiti. So is there some story there where people are nervous about going back here? Maybe.
There, yeah.
I mean, who knows?
It's weird that the bunkers, that everybody's fine with that, but out here, there's nothing.
Oh my God. It's
so weird.
Why is this so creepy?
Completely different vibe.
It's like, I can't tell you. There's very few places I've been where I'm just like, this is so incredibly scary. This is like in the top 3.
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem like it should be that scary.
It's not even that big of a... It's kind of big, but it wasn't really that big.
Right. But when you're there, it's like... It's like totally different. Like, I can't even... I don't know how to describe it.
I think in here, we felt more trapped at the here.
Oh, absolutely.
It just felt like there's only one way out, and you really... If something's in your way, you have to go past it.
Right, yeah,
the
pretty much.
Mothman standing right there.
Not that I mean, lest anyone think that I think the Mothman exists. I do not think the Mothman exists. But it's still, it's the story. It's like if you went scuba diving in Loch Ness, what would you think about?
Yeah.
There's nothing in there, but you're going to be like, I don't want to see the Loch Ness Monster. You know what I mean? But these buildings, man...
So you think that's where they house the ammunition on the
Probably.
left?
I don't know. We'd have to have somebody who knows about that would, that's been, they don't really, it's probably a completely different method now, how they make munitions.
Yeah.
I just thought it was strange that there was no graffiti anywhere back here. Like, you would have thought maybe somebody would go out during the day and spray paint something. But there was nothing. And the bunkers are not even a mile from here.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they're
very close.
Yeah, they're like right up the road.
This place must be, because this is the original place. This is where they saw him.
Well, it wasn't here. It was about...
Oh, I thought it was...
It was about 500 yards away.
Oh, okay.
So I think the original building was about 500 yards from this spot here. But these are the only structures that remain of the original munitions complex.
Okay.
It was a complex because they had one building on one side of the road and another building on the other, right by the fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So this could have been an off-site, like where they would store the munitions here and then they would make them at the actual factory. But they use a lot of...
That makes sense.
They use a lot of crazy chemicals and stuff, so I think, this whole area is polluted now. So what they do is manage it instead of cleaning it up. They just manage it.
Yeah.
Which is a lot to read about this particular site.
Town.
Yeah.
Well, when we were coming into town, Dan picked that. You had this this podcast that we were listening to. It set the tone perfectly.
When we were kissing down by the river.
Yes.
I remember that, yeah.
We both had one earphone in each of our ears, sharing.
It was really romantic.
Yeah, I love that. It's a great moment in my life.
Big Macs. I'm like, I've always wanted pizza from McDonald's. Anyway, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Just that podcast that you were playing. It set the tone well for this
trip. Yeah.
Who was that by again?
I can't remember. You should have researched
it. It was on YouTube, and it was about Point Pleasant and the Mothman, and they talked about all the stories, including the Men in Black.
You know what? I'll try to find it and post a link. This video is going to have several dozen links. By the time I'll be like, oh, and finally, follow Brian Starowski.
He had nothing to do with this, but go follow him.
Hi, I'm Brian Starowski. Will and I, in closing here, because we're getting down to the last. How many minutes?
4,
2 minutes left.
3.
Will and I are probably going to do another type of video like this. I'm thinking the Jersey Devil, or the Flatwoods Monster, which is also down in this region. What do you guys think? Or do you have suggestions for us?
Any better? Yeah.
If you have a suggestion for us, let me know. If you don't want to leave it in the comments, you can message me on Facebook, or tweet me. Let me know, because we are going to do another. You know, the weird thing, this video didn't do as well as the other two for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. There's no, because I love this video.
Yeah, me too. I don't know.
But did not do as well as the other two. Don't know why.
Go watch the original again, guys.
Yeah, please.
Watch the whole trilogy together like a big movie.
You guys, please watch my video. Please.
Please. I need more views, guys.
Guys,
go watch
please.
It.
What's wrong? You don't love me anymore?
I feel inadequate.
Oh, my God. So, anyway, you guys. That's enough rambling. I don't think I rambled. I think we got out a lot of information.
Yeah. Wasn't much deviation from...
That is true. Not much deviation. Make sure you go watch The Cutting Room Floor 25. Oh, wait a minute.
Wait, this is 24. Right? This is 24.
This is 24. 25.
Yeah, 24.
You can see the Low Hotel video. You can hear this.
25 is the hotel. Yes.
You hear the sirens. That means it's time to go. Thank you all very much. Thank you to Tice Pronk for his wonderful music. So good. And, yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you all very much for watching. And we'll be back next week.